Can you see me? I'm not really sure. About 10. I got some incentive to put up shelters quickly now because it's raining. Not that I'm afraid of getting wet. But I'm going to say welcome to Camp Overkill, because I'm going to put up 3 shelters and a big tarp. And I'm going to have a lot of dry spot to show you the stuff I'm going to work on today. I want to do some knots, some joinery with some bushcraft. I'm going to put up a hammock. But frankly, I just want to do all that while it's dry. It'll be a lot more comfortable. So I'm gonna go get that stuff up and say bye for now till I get a place dry to let y'all watch from. All right, take care. I just wanted to show you the campsite before I take it over. There's one over there. This is mine. And then there's one over there as well. But gravel or not, let me show you why I picked this site. At least this is what it looked like on the movie. On the map, I mean. Now, I knew it backed up to the creek, but for heaven's sakes, I didn't know it was this close. Look at that. This is... This is wonderful. There's a little bit of place to walk down over there. My sweet Lord, this is... I'm going to sleep well tonight listening to that. Anyway, I don't want to get my phone too wet, but I just had to share this view with y'all. It's beautiful. All right, so I got one shelter up, and I'll put up the second one. I've done this before. Oh, yeah, I'd like to aim that up just a little bit higher. So you might have too. So I'm gonna do this in fast motion. All right, so you don't have to sit through it all. 1s go to 1As, 2s goes to 2As, 3s goes to 3As. That's about it. I don't need the instructions for this anymore. I just got to make sure they're numbered. Now, no, if you realize this part, we'll put the top on now because we can reach it. Put it up in the air. This is easier. Hey, you know, you might not recognize me since last time. Besides the haircut, I've lost 10 pounds. Yeah, I'm 10 pounds thinner. Well, it won't stay up. So I got 2 shelters now. Because this Camp Overkill, we ain't done yet. I got another tarp I'm going to put between them. Because I've done a lot of camping in the rain. There's nothing that makes the rain easier to handle than being dry. You know, take a step or two. All right. Welcome back to Camp Overkill. Now, this is my first time putting that tarp over the shelter idea. And I think I just got stuff a little bit out of place. I thought this tarp was a lot bigger. I have feet between the two standing pavilions. Anyway, but the whole idea there is that it goes over the peaks of the pavilions, so the water ain't going to leak in between them, and that's going to give Matt and I, the whole area is going to stay dry. Now, you see Matt put up his tent. Oh, a lot of cooking stuff. Told you I like to cook. So my oven, I did set my oven. You know, it only went up to 300 degrees. That was excellent job reheating a pizza, but not quite where I wanted to be to bake. I used 2 poles to hold up that tarp because the geometry was a little fishy. I couldn't quite figure out what was going wrong. Well, I did figure out what was going wrong. That's the wrong tarp. I intended to use a 12 by 12 foot tarp, which on the diagonal, you do the math or look it up, should be 16, 17 feet across. But instead I pulled out a 9 by 11 tarp, which, you know, sort of did the job, not quite square and straight, and bottom line is I ended up using 2 poles to keep the middle from dragging and catching water. And oh, it got cold enough that I used one of my favorite toys, a little camp heater. You know, with the wind in the open air, that was good enough to get your feet warm and dry off your shoes. That was kind of nice. It was so peaceful and nice to hang out here by the creek, which is raging. It's not blue water, it is muddy water. Let's come down here and look at it, listen to that our entire time while we were here. Like I said, I love running water. All right. Well, it's Saturday morning. It's time for me to
break camp at Camp Overkill and head home. I know I didn't shoot a lot of video. It was rainy and windy, and I basically just defended the shelter. You can see that I put a lot more sides on it because the wind picked up, the rain picked up. Now these are your standard 10 by 10 pavilions. They go $40 to $60 where you find them. A lot of places sell the sides for them, and about 20 bucks a piece. But these $6 tarps from Harbor Freight, 7 foot by 10 foot, worked really well. Hopefully you can see this okay. I'm gonna have to break camp, but you know, I don't do nothing in the morning without my coffee. So I don't normally use a percolator. But I found this old Ozark Trail, means Walmart, camping set on the way out the door, and I pulled it. I'd use it and give it a try. I don't normally use a percolator. Okay, we'll make 4 cups of coffee. So that's 1 scoop for each cup and 1 for the pot. And once it starts perking, let it go for 2 minutes. Then take it off to heat. It's done. Okay. Wow. But I'm gonna get to work while that's cooking. Wish this handle stayed up a little bit easier. Keep me from burning my little pinners. So, as Star says, gonna get to work while that's cooking. That'll give me my first break along the way. And hope you're somewhere enjoying your morning too. Okay, I'm tearing down. I thought maybe I'll show you some of the knots I used. In case you can't tell for yourself, no, I'm not a knot expert. But I will say, all that rain, all that wind, everything held. So laugh, but get in your mind good enough. Don't need to use the African anaconda constrictor knot all the time, or Joe, the Canadian jam knot. I did use it once. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around and show you a couple of my knots. Okay, Joe Robinette. It's fun to watch, really is. People make fun of the Canadian jam knot that he uses practically for everything. Anyway, so this is like your bow tie knot. What you tie your shoe with. Bam, I'm done. And whoa, come back here. And on the end, there's just a loop. It's pulled through some. It's kind of hard to untie things with one hand, but one quality of what you're looking for in a knot is that it comes apart when you want to go home. All right, bam. So there you go. I'm not much closer to going home. I use the same bow tie knot on all these, and like I say, laugh, it held. Good enough. I might have got lucky here. There's a spike hitch to hold the top tarp on, and stick through it is referred to as a toggle. Fast to tie, fast to take down. I don't think this kind of hitch is good when your loads and unloads, meaning loosens up, tighten, loosen up, tighten. Because this loosen up, that'll fall right out, and bam. Well, speak of the devil, this one did let go, but my other wraps and all were enough to keep it in place. And one of the things when I show you a couple knots, I'm going to talk about stop knots. That, like, you know, back up and what if not. All right. Here's another version of a spike hitch that won't let go. And that's a little lashing to hold the center pole in place. It fell down too many times on me. And like, oh wow, now I remember where I put my car keys. All right. Well, here's another example of a spike being used. This time with the spike. It's going to be tricky to undo with only having the two hands, so bear with me. Yeah. Same thing on my little butane lantern. This lantern's 80 lumens, which is a peewee by Scare the Bear standards, but by just enough light that's all you really need to walk around your campsite. It'll last about 8-10 hours on a $1 canister of gas. The big boy can't make that claim. So that's my main go-to guy right there. All right. So let's look at these guys side by side. My backpacking. Oh, I got way too much equipment. Now, wait a minute. I called this a butane lamp, but I actually got that butane adapter on there. Let me take that off. Alright, so let's say this lantern uses the propane cylinders. You know, regular ones I got everywhere. Usually like 2 for $6, $3 a pop. It's not a good amount in there. This guy is actually an isopropane. Lantern. And it goes on these. Well, isn't that cute? These seem like they have half the fuel and cost $5 a piece. Holy moly. But anyway, you could see this one packs to that, this one packs to that. If I were going backpacking and didn't carry too much stuff, pretty clear to me which one I'd take. Particularly, you don't need those big propane tanks, but because I take a big propane tank like the one you use in your backyard for car camping, I'll bring the propane. Now, as isopropane stoves go, this one's pretty big, but when I looked at the fact that it had the built-in windscreen, I thought that was a good idea. Again, it takes the isopropane. So where I'm going with this is when you're camping, it'd be nice if all your stuff was provided with one type of fuel tank. $5. $1. And these are sold wherever catering stuff is. I buy a case of 12, I think is $7 or $8 at Sam's Club. But to use these, you need these little adapters. All right? And if you look for the right vendor on Amazon,
That's about $7, and I can store one in there for that guy. And I sure wish I could get one in here, but I take a backup just in case I want to use two, and another piece of equipment. So let me line these tanks up again for you. Okay. $3, good amount of fuel. $5, not so much. $1, a little bit more. I'd take two of these. Can run can run my lantern and my stove at the same time. It's cheap. Costs less. All right. So that's where I'm at on my little camping and stove stuff. You might notice I was processing some wood. One of those was a birch branch, and I saved all the bark for a tinder bag. Okay, hey, well, you see I'm making a lot of progress taking stuff down. I'm gonna go fold those tarps up now. I look for a microphone to help me pick up my voice from farther away. Anyway, 6 tarps put away. That wasn't bad, was it? One more look at your one tree hammock system. Basically, you build your Boy Scout tripod, wrap and frap. That's a thing. W-R-A-P, F-R-A-P. Google that. YouTube it. It's easy to learn how to do that. Ridge pole across the top, butted up against the tree. Mine didn't quite butt on the tree, but it held Fat Man. So, good enough. All right, I'm going to take that end down. The other thing, Really Big Monkey, YouTube search for Really Big Monkey, is he'll do the same thing, but totally treeless. Maybe a little bit longer branch, and he'll just lean that end on the ground and still tie off his hammock. And with the space between the high end and the low end, his hammock still hangs off the ground. So that's the no tree system as opposed to the one tree system. Let's get a look at what that might look like. Alright, so there's the basic idea. I've not hung a hammock this way, but again, if you go to YouTube, basically the tripod and the far end of the ridge pole is just lying on the ground. You put one end of your hammock down towards the ground and the other up on the ridge pole. I don't know, maybe you don't have to be a little higher up in the air, but in between, your hammock will hang and you'll be off the ground. No trees.
What a wonderful couple of days. Anyway, I'm going to be back, exact same spot, 2 weeks. I'm going to try to get some of that stuff I wanted to show you this time done. Still going to do it, but push it over to the right on your calendar 2 weeks. Had a great time. Hope you liked watching this short video, and I'm going to see you in the next one.
Well, Camp Overkill is now Camp Never Was. I've got everything down, walked around, cleaned up the site. Only sign that I was ever here is I did leave that wood for the next camper. I was really impressed there on the Finger Lakes Trail that folks left wood for me, and I'm going to pay that forward. So there that is over there, up off the ground. So won't get rotten if nobody comes here. I know it is reserved next weekend. Like I see, I'll be back here at the same place in 2. All right, I'm driving home. Y'all take care now. You're